Hello and welcome to the Perfect Remedy News with your hosts Emma McGinn and Ryan Chang. Today we have two very important stories for you, an important message to learn from each.
The first story is about an ex-lake in Bolivia named Lake Popo. Lake Popo is a lake in west-central Bolivia which dried up in December of 2017 due to climate change. Lake Popo occupies a shallow part of the Altiplano. It was the second largest lake in Bolivia, covering 977 square miles. It was 56 miles long and 20 miles wide, but only 9 feet deep. In December 2017, the lake dried up entirely, partially because of climate change, but also because of the sediment buildup due to the large mining industry in Bolivia. Many complex towns and villages were built next to Lake Popo for the water and seafood, but since it has been dried up, many people had to relocate. Tourists travel to Bolivia, and most of them believe that Lake Popo is the second largest body of water in Bolivia, but local visitors correct them. "You mean the ex-lake?" said the salt flat, says Arminda Choco, a 23-year-old. Arminda Choco waits outside a mobile dental clinic in La Palapani, a community of crumbling adobe and thatch houses inhabited by the indigenous group of Yuris Moratos, who have lived off the lake's abundant fish. Arminda continues by explaining, "I want my children to leave and go to college." Single moms like Arminda have been struggling to take care of their children due to the lake drying up, and as the lake dries up, people who live near the lake's futures also dry up till they are close to gone. The La Palapani people lived off of fish in the lake, but because the lake got dried up, they have to move to nearby villages to survive. In 2016, millions of animals perished and many indigenous groups migrated to near towns.
Puerto Rico is another country in South America that has been experiencing difficulties due to climate change. Hurricane Maria was a Category 5 hurricane and wiped through Puerto Rico and lasted for 30 hours of violent winds and downpour. It was a 50 to 60 mile wide tornado. After Hurricane Maria went through Puerto Rico, the country was left with no electricity, nearly no water, and hundreds of destroyed homes. Before the hurricane, the country was already suffering from bankruptcy. In 2016, Puerto Rico declared bankruptcy. They were at a debt of $70 million, and the reason that they had lost so much money was because their economy was mostly built off of borrowed bonds. A bond is the type of legal agreement bound with force. An example could be a pledge. Many companies and big investors bought out these bonds from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, however, did not have enough bonds to give out and began borrowing bonds from other countries. When investors and companies began pulling out their investments in bonds, Puerto Rico began rapidly losing money and currently owes other countries a total of $70 million. On top of the country struggling financially, the hurricane damage caused the government to be unable to pay their debts, leading them to also be unable to rehabilitate their citizens. Some women, however, took matters into their own hands and helped neighboring villages. Vogue magazine, however, reported a story on many women who were setting up soup kitchens for people without food. They were also helping families get connected to support groups or aid groups, and they have been raising money to rebuild roads. It's important to recognize people like these women who are greatly helping their community. It is also important to know when choosing to go to a foreign country to help, you must not assume that they need your help. These women do not need anybody's help, but many others do. Do not automatically assume others need others need your help, or even if they want it for that matter. It is important to ask if you can assist someone before you assist them. After suffering through lots of loss, people do not want to lose their pride.